the show, I talk about a lot of things. When I address that fucking blithering idiot, it's because he has said something and it's made the rounds on YouTube or other social media, and I feel I'll just address it. And this one, I was thinking about it. I'm like, should I even address this? Because everyone knows what the deal is, but I figured I'd address it anyway. He gets on and talks about the Hackamania in Vegas, and I guess he had a little spies around or something. Nothing I've heard is accurate of anything that happened there. Everyone had a good time. A lot of people showed up. It was fun. We all were got together for things like dinner and hanging out at the bar. I met up with Steve Grillo because he lives out there. We hung out at the Carousel Bar, a few beers, just laughing, talking and laughing. Husey is a pisser. You know, there are a lot of people there. Quadfather in the wheelchair. He was a pisser. Good times. But of course, John didn't go. He doesn't know what it's like to have friends, family. My brother showed up, me and my brother like this, and you know, and John, everything John has to shit on is something that he is deeply envious of. Friends, family, money, just the things he has no concept of. Relevancy. So I guess one of his spies told him that I went to the cage at the Plaza Hotel to get some cash to gamble with. And lo and behold, denied. I was denied. So John uses that information that he got from one of his spies as absolute knowledge that, well, your old friend Anthony is broke. I have no money. So he did go on his show. And I don't think I've ever, maybe once, played any clip from his show. This isn't YouTube, so he can't strike me for it. This is from someone else's YouTube where they had put him talking about this on there. So if they want to deal with that on YouTube, whatever. If this gets posted by someone on YouTube, have at it. I won't strike it. But that insecure fucking imbecile might. That's all I'm saying. A little warning for someone that might want to post this later on. You won't get a strike from me. I don't mind. You put clips of me up. More publicity. It's exposure. You know, we all don't like when people just post the entire show. You know, that's kind of, but if you found something funny or interesting and you want to take a few minutes and pop it on your channel, I've never had a problem with that. Feel free. So here's John. This starts at 1:40, Sean. I put it up there on the prep. And here he will show his work. He will give out all the information you need to know that proves that I am broke. Listen to this, and Sean, absolutely be ready to pause.
To the bottom of now, from what we know, Pocky ran out of money in Las Vegas. The old rich Pocky was sitting gambling at the blackjack table with, I believe, Tukey and Dr. Steve. And I already gambled a couple of grand from what I hear. Now, all this is secondhand. I was not here but from what I recall from my conversation with her, he gets up.
Could you pause that also? His lapdog wasn't there either. So any information he's getting is all secondhand, at least. In some cases, third hand. But there was a point where I was playing blackjack with Dr. Steve and Tukey. But I was playing blackjack with a shitload of people. There were like every fan that showed up there wanted to sit down and play a few hands of blackjack with the old Anthony. Blackjack, 9999. Everyone's laughing. It's fun, right? It's fun to play blackjack with Anthony because I get all crazy and my catchphrases come out. So, yeah, there were instances where I was playing with a lot of people that showed up for Hackamania. But, Dr. Steve, I don't even know if Dr. Steve sat down to play. I don't remember. But he was there. We were hanging out. We were drinking some beers and whatnot. So, let's see this imbecile continue his take on what happened.
To get more money out of the ATM. And he's declined.
I pause. I don't go to the ATM. I go to the cage. I don't go to the ATM because I have a limit on how much I could take out on my ATM card. $1,000. If I ever sat down at a table with only $1,000, then maybe you could start some rumor that I'm broke. I go to the cage and I take $5,000 out. That's how I start my foray into gambling when I go to Vegas or Atlantic City. I go, I take my bank card, one of my bank cards, and they run it. And I click, yes, accept, everything like that. And I get my money. I get a band of $5,000 and I go to the table. So already the ATM, but the ATM's near the cage. Maybe he's confused. I don't know. Let's continue.
Now, you all know if that happened to me and I was playing cards with any of these fucking losers, and I went to the ATM and my card had insufficient funds, you guys would have a field day with me.
Pause.
You know.
Yeah, he's right again. Because people know that I am not on the balls of my ass broke. And people know you are, John. So if you went to an ATM and it said denied or insufficient funds or what have you, people would assume, and rightly so, that you don't have any money to take out. And your night of gambling is done because you don't have the money. People know me. They see me. They know, they know I just bought a $100,000 vehicle. It's outside my house. My house, not my mom's house, that I bought on acres of land here in South Carolina. There's no indication that if it even was true that I got declined for insufficient funds, that it's because I don't have the funds. But yes, you're right. People would say that you're broke and make fun of you because you're broke and you're easy to make fun of. And it would be because you're broke. All right? Okay, let's move on.
I know that. So don't try and slice it any other way here. Pocky did not have the funds in that account. And Alva gets it out of Dr. Steve, which is pure brilliance. She says, well, was it because he's in a different state and they didn't allow him the funds because he didn't give him a heads up? He was traveling. They said no, he didn't have any funds in that account. Now, folks, you know.
Pause. Again, another state? What am I using? Little House on the Prairie Bank? It doesn't matter. See, everything John is saying to try to indicate that I'm broke proves that he's broke. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't know how banking works. He doesn't know how purchasing things or going to a casino or a resort, he doesn't know how that works. So he's speculating how it works, that I would have to tell the bank that I'm going to Las Vegas. You do get messages that get texted to you. Hey, this is suspicious activity. If you made this transaction, please type yes back to us. And you do that. And then they say, okay, we're sorry. That transaction was declined. But if you make it again, it will go through because now we know that you had made the transaction. So that'll happen. But you don't have to call and go, hi, bank. Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. Oh, boy. It didn't work that way. Everything he says is just proof that he is broke and doesn't know how the banking world works when you have a little bit of money. And I will explain that. I have my debit card, and it is attached to one of my bank accounts. I have an investment account that it's a retirement investment account. And the vast majority of my money is in that one. I talked to my finance guy, Barry, who I've had for 25 years now. And we discuss what is being done with that money. And it is in the millions, plural. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just saying that's the majority of my money is in that account and those accounts, actually. Then I have my E-Trade account. And I have a few $1,000s in that to mess around with. I buy Tesla. I buy Nvidia. Whatever's the big stock of the week. And I win some, I lose some in that one. But that's the fun. You hear something about stocks and go, oh, let me check that out. I have a PNC account that is for a corporation. And I don't touch that. That just money goes into it from my various business ventures. And then I have my main bank account. And there is, at any given time, at least 6 figures in that. And that's like for checking if I want to buy something big. I'm having the poor guy, I'm having a pool put in, a built-in pool. And I need money for contractors and whatnot. So there's always over $100,000 in that account. Then there's another checking account that I keep maybe $3,000 in. And that's for, I'm out. If I'm out and I want to buy something at a convenience store, I'll use that debit card from that account. I also use that if I'm at a casino. And I haven't been at a casino in a long time. So I gave the woman the card and I wanted $5,000 out. There was only $3,000 in there. I didn't call the bank like John said. I went to my app, and with a few pushes of the button, you can transfer funds from the account with 6 figures to the account with 4 figures. And I did that, and in an instant, the woman was there going 1, 2, 3, giving me $5,000. Because that's how banking works. When you don't put everything you have in your front pocket to buy Busch Light and TV dinners with. When you're pulling cash, crumbled cash out of your pocket to buy your Salisbury steak TV dinner and your shitty Busch Light beer that you get hammered, slurring drunk off of every single night of the week. But he's not an alcoholic. No. That's when you have to admit to the fact that you don't know what banking is like when you have some money. If John had the money that he says he has, he would know you have multiple accounts. What are you, 60 years old and everything you have is in one account? You don't have a tax deferred IRA? You don't have a separate savings account from a checking account? You don't have another corporate account for an LLC? What, John? Why? You got all this money coming in. This is how shit works, John. This is how people with jobs that make money, that have made money in their past and invested it wisely through responsible financial people, this is how they work. They don't go to the ATM and get denied for insufficient funds and skulk away because they have no money. Once again, you have proven how unbelievably stupid you are. And you've done nothing more than prove that you're the broke motherfucker with no money. Because you would know how this shit worked if you had responsibly taken care of your money. You certainly weren't giving it to your family. We know that. We know that had to go to court. You're trying to chisel money from them. So, yeah, I got money for the casino. I got money for a Yukon Denali that I just bought 2 weeks ago. I got money for the crew putting in the built-in pool and pool house in my backyard. And there's plenty left over to sue your fucking ass off for defamation. You think it's cute saying pedometer? Now I'm pedometer, and you think that's a way to skirt around the issue? I'm not afraid. He goes, I'm not afraid. You will be. You will be. You should be. You should be getting your fucking ducks in order, my friend. Because the second the gavel comes down on your losing ass case against Carl and Shuley, before you get to leave the fucking courtroom, a process server will slap your hand with a summons, with a lawsuit, defamation for calling me a pedophile on multiple platforms. I have it all. You can't just say, oh, I don't think I didn't say, I was saying this. We have it all of it already. And what do you have on me, John? So there we go. That's how real banking works in the real world with people that have been blessed and had lucrative careers over the course of their life, still do. I'm gainfully employed with WABC Radio, the company you tried to get me fired from. Remember that, John? Saying I'm a racist and anti-Semite on Twitter and then tagging WABC Radio and my bosses in that post? That isn't actionable. I'm not saying that's actionable for defamation. You could call me a racist. People consider what I say to be racist. I got no qualms about that. It's just a scumbag move. It's you being exposed for the scumbag you are. You complain about how people cancel your gigs and they got me fired from my teaching job. First of all, no, you got yourself fired from the teaching job. Your bonehead idea to actually put a computer in front of you, a laptop, and hold a virtual court session. Your case for virtual Zoom court In the classroom, you were teaching with children running around on camera. That's why you got fired. No one got you fired. When I got fired from satellite radio for my racist tirade against a woman that assaulted me in Times Square, I got myself fired. I didn't blame anybody. I did it. They had a problem with it. They fired me. Oh, well, it happens. I moved on. But you can't even accept that showing children in your class, the classroom you're responsible for, on your camera during a court hearing you're not even supposed to be having in a classroom during your working hours, and somehow it's a Mysterious Potato's fault or someone else. The guy that can never accept responsibility for anything. And then you talk about that and say, they got me fired. They're trying to get me fired. And then what do? Why else would you call me a racist and anti-Semite and retweet some of my posts about crime in the black community and then add my bosses to the bottom? I hope they see it and they fire them. They know who I am, dummy. They know who Anthony Cumia, formerly of the Opie and Anthony Shock Jock Show. They know my history. But I do the job that they want me to do. I do it well. What are you doing? Begging for $2 so people can insult you. You have 2 guests who will ever do your show. And everyone else you know knows you're a piece of shit. Me and Grillo laughing our balls off about you in Vegas, about what a fucking dimwit you are. Rob Saul. God bless Rob Saul. He got sober. He's doing a show now. I just watched a piece of one of the shows he did the other day. He's articulate. He's sober. He's smart. I never knew this. He actually has a good vocabulary. He's very coherent. And when he talks about Stuttering John, talk about hitting the nail on the head. And to realize how harmful someone like John is to your mental health and your sobriety, and to identify that and get as far away from him and people like him as possible. Again, God bless Rob Saul. Great job. Continued success with your sobriety. And everybody that has goofed on you and you goofed on and all that, couldn't be happier. I see Shuley. And John wants to try to present it like Shuley is just doing this to get at John. Because that's how John thinks. He can't understand someone looking at someone else that had a problem, had issues, is trying now his hardest. You know, Rob has a kid and everything, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't fuck that kid up with his mistakes and his addictions. And he's actually doing something about it. And John thinks congratulating someone like that is just to get back at John? Could you imagine being that narcissistic? Instead of believing that people actually feel good for the guy. Congratulations, great job. Hey, if you need any help. It can't possibly be because people are concerned, caring, willing to forgive and forget and understand people have problems and issues. And no, it had to be to get at me, the Duke. That's who this is. That's who everyone is dealing with in this Dabbleverse thing. He is entertaining. He says it all the time. I'm entertaining for every wrong reason there could possibly be. He cannot get it through his thick fuck head that he is being laughed at. And not in a way, you know, you laugh at a funny guy because he's doing like physical comedy or something. He's so stupid, that his stupidity should garner sympathy. Anyone that stupid, I would genuinely feel sorry for. I've known some dopes in my life, and you hold back making fun of them. It's sad. You think, how the fuck do they get up and go through a day being that incredibly stupid? And it garners sympathy from people. But John combines his dumbness, his stupidity, with this attitude and narcissism and this feeling of self-worth that is so unearned, obnoxious, shits on other people. And there's a litany of other things. But it actually cancels out any sympathy you might feel for someone that is this incredibly stupid. Anyway, that's about a half hour. That's all I really wanted to dedicate to this. So, in summation, I think what we have shown by his clips and my take on Vegas is that John has no clue what it's like to be a big boy, a responsible grown-up boy that actually knows how to bank, how to do responsible banking. All your eggs in one basket? Huh? Oh, boy. Okay.